Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our studio for episode 25 of the Digital Pulse. I am your host, Socheta, and I am absolutely thrilled to be here with you today because we have reached a major milestone, 25 weeks of deep conversations.
Thank you, Sochata. It is a genuine pleasure to be sitting across from you again. It feels like just yesterday we were recording our very first episode, and yet here we are, still uncovering the layers of our digital lives.
We really are. And today we are tackling a topic that hits home for almost everyone listening, the impact of social media on learning and socialization. It is such a massive part of our existence now, isn't it?
It truly is, Sochata. It's the air we breathe in this modern era. It's no longer just an app on a phone. It is the infrastructure of our social and intellectual lives.
Curiously, let's start with learning because that has changed so drastically. I mean, I literally learned how to bake a sourdough bread last weekend just by watching a series of 60-second clips.
That is the magic of it, isn't it? The democratization of knowledge. We have moved from a world where information was locked in expensive textbooks to a world where a teenager in a rural village can learn coding from a professional in Silicon Valley via a YouTube video.
It's empowering. But Mr. Saroon, I have to ask, is this fast food style of learning actually sticking? I felt like a pro while watching the video, but an hour later I couldn't remember the temperature for the oven.
You've hit on the illusion of competence, Sochata. We confuse the ease of access with the depth of mastery. Social media provides us with micro-learning, which is fantastic for quick fixes, but it often lacks the cognitive struggle required for long-term retention.
That makes so much sense. It feels like my brain is just grazing on information rather than actually digesting it. Is there a way to use these platforms better for actual education?
Absolutely. It requires intentionality. We have to move from passive scrolling to active engagement. Instead of just watching, we should be taking notes, practicing, and most importantly, critiquing the source of the information.
Critiquing the source, that's a big one. There is so much misinformation out there disguised as educational content. It's scary how quickly a false fact can go viral.
It is a major concern. The algorithms prioritize engagement over accuracy. If a sensationalized fact gets more clicks than the boring truth, the algorithm will feed you the sensation every single time. It requires a high level of digital literacy that we are still struggling to teach.
It's a lot of responsibility for the user. But let's shift gears to socialization. This is where I feel the most emotion about the topic. Softly, I feel like I know what my friends from 10 years ago are doing, yet I haven't heard their voices in ages.
That is the great paradox of our time, isn't it? We are connected to hundreds, even thousands of people, yet the rates of reported loneliness are higher than ever. We are replacing deep, high-bandwidth human interaction with low-resolution digital snippets.
A like is not a hug. A comment is not a conversation. I find myself looking at these beautiful highlight reels on Instagram and feeling, well, a bit inadequate, even though I know it's curated.
We all feel that, Sochata. It's the comparison trap. We compare our behind-the-scenes footage with everyone else's polished trailer. It distorts our sense of reality and places a huge emotional burden on our self-esteem.
So how do we fix this? I don't want to delete my accounts. I love seeing photos of my niece and staying updated on news, but I don't want to feel lonely while being connected.
It starts with social minimalism. We need to curate our feeds to serve our well-being. If an account makes you feel less than, unfollow it. If a platform drains your energy, set a timer. We must reclaim our attention.
I like that term, social minimalism. It's about quality over quantity. I've started trying to use social media as a bridge to real life rather than a destination, like seeing a friend's post and then actually texting them to grab coffee.
Exactly. That is the healthiest way to use it. Use the digital to facilitate the physical. Use the screen to schedule the face-to-face. That is where the real socialization happens.
And for learning, maybe I should watch the sourdough video and then put the phone in another room while I actually bake. No distractions, just me and the flour.
Now you're talking. That is called deep work. When you combine the vast resources of the internet with the focused discipline of the mind, you become unstoppable.
This has been such a grounding conversation, Mr. Saroon. I think our listeners needed to hear this, that it's okay to feel overwhelmed, but we have the power to change how we interact with these tools.
We certainly do. Technology is a powerful servant, but a dangerous master. As long as we keep having these conversations, we stay in the driver's seat.
Well, that is a perfect note to end on. Thank you so much for joining me for this milestone episode 25. To our listeners, thank you for being part of this journey. We'll be back next week to continue exploring this wild digital world. Until then, stay mindful and stay connected, the real way.
Goodbye, everyone, and take care of your digital hearts.